Hello, welcome to my backyard. My name's Alicia and our channel is Our Golden Acre. I've struggled with the past year or two. Do I call myself a gardener or do I call myself a homesteader? I don't know what the difference is, but we're trying to grow a lot of our own food. We try to live in a sustainable way. I feel that that puts us in the category of homesteader. And one of the things I was going to share today is on our 1 acre in more of a suburban area, how we manage our chickens in the winter and in the summer. So here's our chicken digs for the winter. Now the sheet came off the corner there. Usually that sheet covers and blocks the wind, but we've had some mild weather, so I haven't been tucking it there as carefully. Here's one of our ladies. We've got 6 hens right now. We had 8. We are planning on adding a few in the spring. We do love our barred rocks. We had 3. We're down to 2 now. We lost one of our favorites, of course. Let me do a reset. Let the girls eat the bottom of the feed, get some fresh feed in here. So, this one over here is Katie. This is Floppy. She has a floppier crown, although it doesn't quite look that way right at the moment. Our 2 well summers that we have, we actually just call them the chicks. That one right there is we call Flighty because she tends to be the flightier of our original 5 that we had. And then Goldie here in the center, she is the ruler of the roost. If you watched any of our shorts of our German Shepherd, she's the one that kind of squares off with her and tells her to get out of the chicken run. Nala is very gentle, but she's also very big and very excited. So it's very cute to see her out here because it is the most exciting thing. I'm actually out here when my husband is walking her because there's no way I would come out here without either her with me or without her whining at the fence because I've left her behind. All right, so I'm under our covered space, well, our uncovered space of our chicken run. So over here, this is where we accumulated garden plants and different things that we put in our compost bin that was over there. We keep it here in the summer when the chickens aren't in the run, and we dump our compost, our food waste, and things that are coming out of the garden go in that composter for when the chickens come in. So when they come in, we pull that composter up and then let them begin to pick that through. So this was a very big block of material that they have been picking at and working on and spreading out to get some of these big chunks and big stalks broken up with those claws and beaks for us. And then over here we dump our compost, our food waste, kitchen scraps, those kind of things over here that they eat and or turn in to our compost. So this is all covered with leaves, so as they're walking, they're breaking that down, they're digging. You can see over here at the edge that they've dug down to the soil. So they're constantly breaking things up and stirring things together for us. That saves us time in the long run with getting some of these big pieces of things broken down, to get the leaves broken down into smaller pieces so they compost for us more quickly. In this space we've got 6-foot woven wire. We have berry netting that covers this space to keep our aerial predators out. And we have electric fence. We have 2 lines of electric going around the outside. We've got one low out here and then one higher right here. We've run it this way for I think all the seasons that we've had the chickens in some way, shape, or form, and so far it has worked for us. So coming around, the winter's been fairly mild so far. If we start getting a lot of very cold, windy, snowy weather, we may cover more of this side, but this side faces to the east, which tends to be the best direction from my experience to have our openings facing in this area. So inside here, we have our much modified chicken coop from Tractor Supply. It used to be one of those that was had like kind of the indoor outdoor space and kind of nesting boxes inside. It just didn't quite work for us the way we choose to maintain chickens. So we just cut off the top part and build a frame that's on wheels. We zoom into the back there if you can see the wheels, like right there's a wheel and right there's a wheel. So it's kind of like just a cart now that we can move around as need be. Also, it gives them all the space underneath to chill out during the day, to scratch through the compost or scratch through the deep bedding. So this is the space that they spend a lot of time. If it's wet, snowy, cold, they stay in here most of the time, but they have a decent amount of space. It's not the same as having to stay inside a chicken coop that's dark and can accumulate a lot of manure and kind of fumes from the manure. Because they're always moving the deep bedding, they're turning the manure into the deep bedding, and so there's no smell. They have been out here. They've been in this space since October, end of October. I think it was right before Halloween that we moved them in here, and there's no chicken smell out here. You don't smell manure, you don't smell like the ammonia smell, that kind of thing, because it's staying clean, because they're mixing the manure into the bedding. And then when we move them out, we'll probably move them out once we're kind of out of the realm of having frozen water to have to deal with. We'll move them out into their chicken tractor, which I'm going to show you here in a minute, and then all of this gets mounded up to break down, to compost, and then top our garden beds with the fall. One of the things I haven't quite figured out is to get that compost to heat up well, it needs to be wet. But our water source here is city water, which is treated with chlorine and things like that. And that can kill the life in the compost that you're trying to encourage. So I haven't quite figured out how to deal with that. We did start collecting water we have like a little pavilion called our grill shed. It's where our grill is. It's not that big, but we did set up to try to start collecting rainwater from that, but it's a matter of having the rainwater when you're stirring the compost, which doesn't always line out. But one of the things that we're working on, just making our system more efficient and to work the way that we want it to. So one thing that's very important to me is having the animals having access to water that's not freezing, and to not have to deal with freezing water myself. So this right here, that plate, just keeps that water from freezing. It's not hot. It has a thermostat on it that turns on when it's below 32 degrees. All right, so here's our chicken tractor. This is what our chickens are in during the nice weather. It's basically an 8x8 by 4 foot box. If we were to build a new one, we would definitely build it a lot lighter. I like the size that it is because it's nice. I mean, if you're going to go in it, you're going to be hunched over some, but it's not awful to go into. So we like that aspect of it. We like the amount of shade that it gives. We like a lot of things about it. So we would definitely find ways to make it significantly lighter. We might not make it 4 foot tall, but we'd probably do the 8x8 footprint again, just to get that amount of grazing space. So this front part is the handle that we pull it from. Actually, mostly my husband moves it just because, again, of the weight. So I would like it lighter so that I felt more comfortable moving it. This is our door to our nesting box. We used to have it on the back, and then discovered we're always moving it forward, so the chicken manure is directly behind it. So you have to stand in the fresh chicken manure to get the eggs. So we liked this idea a lot better. Normally this crate is right here with some hay or leaves or grass clippings or something in it as their nesting box. This is, we're gonna make a dust bath for them next year. There's just a hole cut in here. We have our access door to get in, and then we've got our way that we move it. This is called a chick lift. We spent a lot of time and money trying to figure out the wheels for this. This was well worth the money, and it just holds, it clicks down in here, holds it up slightly, and then you step on it and it levers it back down. And then this here is just our door that we open up to access food and water. And then just here is our chicken run from the outside. They have a nice amount of grazing space. They have a nice amount of covered space. It just gives them something to do throughout the winter. Their job is making us compost, and we're looking forward to adding to our flock this spring. Got my husband to come out with me.
Sure did.
I sure did. It's a gorgeous day. So, what thoughts do you have on keeping chickens, what we've learned?
You know, the chicken tractor has been redone every year. The coop has been redone every year. The size of the run has changed decently.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, I guess the biggest thing is, you know, we just kind of try to pay attention to what their needs are and how healthy they look, and you know, things like that, and just try to take into account what we can do to maybe give them a little bit more space, or
Better shelter from the sun or the rain.
You know, make it easier for us to move the tractor, or you know, all those things. So it's, you know, with most things, whether it's garden or animals, you know, they're living things and there's constantly change. So the stuff that may work for us and the things we found and maybe the things we researched, you know, in this little, you know, 1 acre, you know, square of earth that we have here, we find
Rectangle.
ways. Rhombus. Want to go more?
Sure.
Okay. You know, we find what works for us, and you know, I'm sure there's better ways and there's definitely worse ways, but we're not afraid to change and tweak and see what happens there. So.
I think the important thing is you don't learn something all at once. You kind of have to try something and modify it according to your needs. And then, you know, as you have time, you start tweaking things. Like you don't step into a new animal and instantly know all the things that you need to know to do the things, to handle it the way you think you want to. So you have to let it evolve and let yourself learn.
Yeah. Find out about the chick lift would have saved probably 4 weeks of my life.
I did mention that
Yes.
we spent a lot of time and money trying to figure out the wheels and the movement of the tractor, when definitely the chick lift was well worth the money. And I'm going to go get the border collie. You can keep him.
Oh, he's doing fine. Call him right back, Mom. Okay. I know where my property line is.
Oh, good boy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's plenty of things that, you know, we will definitely do different given the opportunity. But
We like our setup now.
yeah.
Like we'll tweak things.
Yeah.
We'd like the chicken tractor to be lighter. It would be nice if we had 2 bays for the compost system, so that we could be finishing one chunk while the chickens are working on another.
We've also made some decisions based on the assumption that this is not going to be the forever house.
Yeah.
So if this 1 acre does become our forever home, or if we had a planned on it being the forever home, some of the things that we've done, some of the approach, some of the things that we do would be different. So we definitely limit certain things with the idea that, you know,
there's 20 or 30 acres with our name on it somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah. So if we at some point make the decision that this is the forever home, there's a lot of things that will be converted into growing space of other things.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We're going to go wreck the kitchen making some cookies and some dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And my goodness, it's gorgeous tonight.
Yes, it is.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
I think we're all right.